friends, thanks for being here. It's a layout that I've used Paige Evans cut files, and I'm going to be showing you how I use those cut files in Silhouette Studio, and then there's a process video showing the layout coming together. So the first cut file was the folk background, and I've done some editing to turn it into a frame. We've also used the negative part of the cut file on the layout, and then the flowers in wreath. I'm going to show you how I easily made a flower that fits in behind so you don't have to do a bunch of cutting and tracing. So let's head to Silhouette Studio and prepare the cut files. So if you don't already own these, you'll want to purchase them, and I've opened them up onto separate mats in Silhouette Studio. Let's work with the folk frame first. And I'm just sizing it so that when I use it on my layout, there's a little bit of space all the way around it to trim off 1/8 of an inch. That creates my border on my layout. So we're going to use the shape feature and draw a circle, and then the transform box to make that circle 7 inches by 7 inches. And then we can put it in the middle of our mat. Now I want to use the subtract tool, but first I'm going to make a copy of the folk frame so that in case I mess up, I have something to go back to. So we're going to modify subtract, and that subtracts the circle from the rest of the cut file, and we need a band in there that'll hold it all together, and we know that the circle was 7 inches, so I'm going to draw another circle 7 by 7, and then I'm going to offset it so that it actually creates a band. And I want this to be a compound path so that when I place it over the cut file and weld the two together, modify weld, you now have a frame. So that's our cut file. I've cut it out of white AC cardstock on the layout. I'm going to make a copy of that because what I want to do with the one on the mat is create a negative, and that's what we put the white cut file over top. So I'm going to release the compound path. I'm just going to change the color here so that you can more easily see. So all the cut file bits are all individual now, and I want to drag away the outside line. And I'll just change it back to navy so you can see it there and create a compound path. So that's a negative part of the cut file, and if we move the white cut file over top, you can see how that frame is laying over top of the negative. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to draw a 12 by 12. It will replicate the pink piece of paper that I used to cut out the negative portion. I'm going to put it behind my work. So this represents, I cut the negative out of pink, I laid a piece of blue behind it, and the white cut file on top. So easy breezy, right? Let's go on to our flowered wreath, and again I'm going to make a copy just to have as a backup. And what I want to do is isolate one of the flowers in the wreath, and so I've released the compound path so everything's individual, and I've changed the color to white so you can see the outline there. And I'm going to drag away the outside line and the inside line. We'll erase those, and I'm going to work on just grabbing the one flower. So I'm going to erase everything around the one flower, or drag it away and erase it. So there's our one flower, and erase everything on the mat. And let's bring our flower back, and I'm going to group it so that I can use the offset tool to make an offset of the one flower, and I'm going to make that at 0.070. I'll change the color so you can see it there and bring our wreath back. Let's zoom in so you can see that how easy that was to make a flower to go underneath. And there's 21 flowers on here, and I made 3 each of 7 colors, and that'll take you all the way around the wreath. I'm going to do the same with the inside circle of the flower because I wanted them in a contrasting color, and I chose navy. And so I'll make that navy. We don't need that anymore. And so we're going to bring our wreath back, put it in the middle of the mat, and I'll make a few flowers and change them into the different colors just so you can get a sense of how I went around the wreath with different papers. Just want to make sure my wreath is the item on top of the mat. So we'll put a pink one. So you definitely don't need to do this extra step, but if you followed any of my previous videos, you'll know that I do like to plan my layouts while I'm in Silhouette Studio. And just for demonstration purposes, I did make 21 flowers and filled in my wreath so that you could see in this video what it would look like. It's also a fun way to play with your colors and put them in different orders. I'm using Go The Scenic Route for my layout, so I pretty much knew which colors I was going to use. I just wanted to figure out the order which I wanted to use them. So I've grouped everything together, and I'm going to bring it onto the mat that has our frame. So I'm just going to play around with the size until it fits where I want it on the frame. And if you have any questions about the whole process in Silhouette Studio, please leave a comment below and I will do my best to help you. So let's go to create the layout. So the blue paper in behind the negative cut file is paper 4. I fell in love with that mandala. And paper 13 is the pink negative. And then the cut file is cut out of white AC cardstock. And there's the finished flower wreath with all the flowers pasted in behind. And I'm going to pop that up right on top. So I used spray glue to glue the first 2 papers of the background together. I just think it's a lot neater and quicker than using liquid glue. Mine is repositionable. I think you can get it both. I would recommend repositionable if you do things like this. Get it down totally crooked and bent. You're able to pull it up, straighten it out, and everything is beautiful again. So there's our negative cut file over top of the blue background, and I love how the mandala peeks through, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to make a frame so that I wasn't covering that entire paper up. So I used the spray glue to glue it onto a piece of acetate that I cut on Silhouette Studio. You can do that by tracing the cut file with the offset feature. And again, I did not glue that on straight, so I'm just trimming a little bit with my scissors out of the inside. Once I've got everything trimmed and the acetate is glued on, I added my foam dots to the back because I wanted it to be lifted up just a bit. So I used the pretty puffy phrase stickers to add amazing to the bottom swirl, and then I used the thickers for Go The Scenic Route. They're just so gorgeous, and I love the font. I used them to create my title. Hello, Paris. I just loved it there. Everything's just gorgeous. So with my foam dots, I didn't peel the tape off the ones on the bottom. I knew I wanted to add a photo underneath the frame, and so that will make it just a little bit easier. So we're going to pop it up around the mandala, and I really like how you can see the blue through the cut file, through the white cut file, and it adds some pretty texture and lets all the colors come through. There's actually some faded colors blended on that blue background, which are a nice touch too. You could bend up a few of the petals if you wish. The cut file is pretty intricate and delicate, and so you really don't need too much of anything extra. So this is the foam tape I like. It comes in a big roll from scrapbook.com, and I just added a little piece to the back of each flower. Super easy to do, and I popped that up around the opening in the frame. So these are the photos I'm going to scrapbook. When we went to Eiffel Tower, there was this crazy clown that insisted on taking pictures with Jim. Of course, you want to give him a tip, and that could be how he makes his living, but he was really comical. So I'm just planning some ephemera, and I did decide that I wanted to map my photos a bit, and I chose, the butterfly paper, just because I love all the colors on it, and you do see the colors peeking out around the photograph, and it did seem to match that crazy clown outfit perfectly. So not to get too complicated, I'm just using the back of the butterfly paper to make a second mat around the photo, and then I just matted my second photo opposite by putting the pink next to the photo and the butterflies on the outside of the matting. So I have a little trouble tucking it in here. Don't know why, but there we go. There's the first photo. I'm going to glue on my butterfly because it keeps floating around here. Just using liquid glue. Hold it down for a tad. I love that Scott's tacky glue dries so fast. If you ever get to Paris, do check out that carousel. It's just a gorgeous wonder. I could spend so much time in Paris. Just love the architecture and just going to dine at a restaurant. It's all out on the sidewalk, and it's just gorgeous. Hope you can get there sometime. So here we are. We've got our photo matted. Again, I got that on crooked. It could be my eyesight, or it could be that I'm working too far away from my layout. When you're filming these things, you're not really over top of it because your head would get in the way. Anyways, all done. I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape to pop it up because the wreath was popped up. I want that photo to lie on top. I'm always keen to glue things right on top of the photo, be it ephemera or butterflies. I think it just helps with your photos sitting right in on the layout, and they don't just sit out off on their own. So I really sped this up here. I'm adding some flowers. I believe they're fussy cut flowers from one of the papers, but you do get a lot of pretty flowers in the floral ephemera pack. I might be using a combo of them, but I do end up playing with them for a while. Thank goodness for fast forward, because oh my gosh, this is why it takes me so long to make a layout. I have something in my mind, and I just play with things until they're what I envision, and well, that's the fun of it, right? So I went with a combo of yellow, pink, and orange because that's pretty much complementary to the clown's attire. And I do like how there's two yellow letters in the title and two yellow flowers around the photos. So that created some nice visual balance in my mind anyways. I'm just trying to figure out where I can put an extra flower because I wanted to create 3 floral spots. I've got the 3 butterfly spots, and that's your visual triangle, and that really works when someone's looking at your layout. So as you can see, I popped in a little orange flower there. It's not much, but it does help carry my eye from there around the rest of the florals. So we've got 3 floral sections, 3 butterfly sections, and now it comes to the little itty bitty bits. So I'm going to use a combination of the enamel stickers. They're so pretty with the glitter and little birds and butterflies in them. And then there's also the puffy phrase stickers. I'm going to use a few of those colorful little dots as well. Everything coordinates so beautifully in this collection, and oh my gosh, I just love all these colors. Paige has a Halloween bundle coming up shortly, and we were all so excited about doing Halloween with all these colors instead of your usual black, orange, and white. So please stay tuned for that. And of course, I've got to add a few glitter dots. Stickles are my friend. I'm kind of known for just sprinkling them around all over the place. I just think they add a little bit of booyah to your layout. Shazba booyah. Anyways, here comes the sequins. They're just from my stash. These ones I believe are picket fence. And I just wanted to carry everything from the top left to the bottom right, because I'm kind of working on a diagonal, and you've noticed that I've left the other 2 corners free of any embellishment. And I just used my liquid glue to put them in place. I used pink, navy, and then what's not shown in this video, but I did go back and use some white Nouveau gloss to make a few dots in here and there, just in place of splatter, because I thought it needed a little bit of white, but I didn't want to risk getting out a brush and splattering around because everything's already in place. So I'm thinking, what do I need now? I wanted to add a little sticker there, a little something, because the title was up at the top and I wanted to add some wording down below. So I was trying a few things from the sticker sheet, and I decided to go with the Celebrate sticker and pop that up. And there you have it. That's the layout, and thanks so much for being here. Thanks for the beautiful cut files, and Go The Scenic Route. Paige Taylor Evans, you're just lovely. Stay tuned for some close-ups, and if you have any questions, let me know in comments. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.